You're up, Commissioner.
All right, Bannock County Commissioners are in session on Tuesday, September 30th. It's a beautiful rainy morning out there, and it's a beautiful day. So we get to start off with Chantel today. So Chantel, go ahead.
Yeah, Chantel Laulu with Indigent Services. The case that I have for you is case number 20250051. It's an application for cremation expenses through Wilkes Funeral Home in the amount of $1,200. The applicant is a 69-year-old female who's applying for cremation expenses for her son. The deceased was a Bannock County resident and does meet criteria to be eligible for assistance through the indigent program, and the applicant has agreed to a $25 a month repayment plan upon approval of this application.
Okay, any questions?
Well, it was just interesting that the person applying is not a Bannock County resident, but the deceased was.
Yes, that is accurate.
Any questions from you?
All kinds of them, but not pertinent to this. But
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve case 20250051.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anita.
Bannock County Assessor Anita Hymas. I'm just here with my letter of cancellation if there's any questions.
We just have homeowners exemption that did have a couple of properties.
Yes.
Okay. Any questions?
No. Go ahead and make a motion that we approve the exemptions per the request of the Honorable Miss Anita Hymas, our assessor.
I want to riff on that really bad, but any further questions?
I'm not following that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On the record.
Let's see, Matt is not here. Let's go to Danae.
Good morning.
We're here today I'm sorry. I'm down to business. Danae Zapata with CCOG.
And Charity Stacks.
And we're here for if the contract has been if the contract, the grant writing contract has been approved, if we can have it signed today.
Okay.
We're presenting the contract for your approval.
Yeah, the renewal.
Okay. Any questions on this?
I didn't see anything.
Commissioner? Okay, I would entertain a motion then.
I would go ahead and make the motion that we approve and authorize the signature for the contract with Bannock County Grant Writing Services with CCOG.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there any further discussion?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, thanks. Well done.
Thank you.
Now get to work.
I went straight to it.
That's Davenport, not
Okay.
Oh,
not
yeah,
me.
she'll get it to you.
Do we leave you the original then?
Yeah, she'll get it to you.
This is the first for me, I'm hard.
Oh, this is okay.
Just a copy of this.
Yeah, it's
over
just a
here.
copy of the same thing, so it's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
We're fine.
Okay. Ag Extension and Friends, Reed and Company. Nikki?
Nikki Ennis, I'm 4-H and the county chair for University of Idaho in Bannock County. I'll have everybody introduce themselves as we go, so we'll start with Jen.
I'm Jennifer Reeder. I am the Family Consumer Sciences Extension Educator. And thank you for having us. We just wanted to be here. We just signed our contract recently, and so as a reminder about what we're here for, extension educators, we're here to serve Bannock County, providing education for whatever they need. So my area, Family Consumer Sciences, is all about life skills education. My background is nutrition, and so nutrition, foods, but also things like budgeting or any kinds of life skills. Sewing might be included with that. So along the way, we're just looking for the things that are needed in Bannock County to provide education in those areas. Eat Smart Idaho is one of our programs that's operated through our office, and Becky Woodhouse is going to talk about that. She's a coordinator for the program.
So she just introduced me. I'm Becky Woodhouse, Program Coordinator for Eat Smart Idaho. It is a federally funded grant program that supports low-income Idahoans. I have some items for you. The Success and Impact Report for 2024 for the entire state. That includes a story about a pantry here in Pocatello that we implemented, a small space garden. We facilitated all the aspects of creating that garden at St. Vincent de Paul. We reach youth in qualifying schools, adults at qualifying locations, so they'll include food pantries and housing, subsidized housing, and we have anecdotal stories of like the impact that we create in the lives of individuals in our district, which covers 4 counties.
And just last for the Family Consumer Sciences, we're working on Eat Smart Idaho, but I'm doing a Bring Back Home Ec life skills education program, and then working on a food security coalition for this area with the pantries and other things. So.
Cool. Did you want to do 4-H?
Yeah. Okay. I'll talk a little bit about 4-H. So, and I just want to thank you guys. We have a great office right now and a team that's working really well together. So we're going to have, I think we're going to have some great outreach this next year. Fair went really well. We had 222 4-H participants at Fair. We did over $400,000 at the livestock sale, and our barns are overflowing. So it was really nice. We had that new sheep barn, and our beef are getting bigger. Our poultry barn is kind of overflowing now. So we have a lot of kids interested in 4-H and participating in 4-H. Some of the things that are coming up, our new year starts in October, so National 4-H Week is the first week of October, and we're expecting high numbers of enrollment. We're already planning activities in the school year, so right now Mountain View and Ingham Elementary we're working on planning with them. We have a 9-week program with Ingham Elementary with their community outreach workshop, and Arizona is going to be working with youth grades 4 through 6 in that. And then this weekend we have our Giants Way Off, which we have kids that are growing giant pumpkins and giant sunflowers. So we're looking forward to seeing what they have. But I also have our impact statement from this year on our summer programs, so I can pass that. But that's kind of what 4-H is doing. So I'll have Reed.
Okay. Sorry, Reed Finley. So I'm half-time here in Bannock County, and they also have me half-time in Bingham County. So I kind of in both counties. And my appointment is 40% horticulture, which is mostly the Master Gardener program, and then 60% crops. And then crops in Bingham County and crops and livestock here. So mostly what I'm involved in is a lot of ag research. I'm wrapping up and just to publish the stuff on the new thrips pest in alfalfa that hit mainly I'll be honest, hit mainly in Bingham County and didn't really affect us that much here in Bannock County. However, the thing that did affect us a lot in Bannock County that we just wrapped up, and I did this work with Jim Sprinkle, who's our livestock specialist, the E. coli and fecal coliform that was found up Mink Creek. And we were the ones that kind of got the $40,000 grant together to do genetic tracing of that E. coli and spend a couple of years tracing that E. coli. And we're able to trace it back to not just the cattle, but also to humans from all the biking and stuff. and from dogs and also wildlife. So we just wanted to make sure that, when the public finds out about E. coli, that they realize that it's not just coming from cattle. Also, right now, I'm working on non-dormant alfalfa as a possible rotation in cereals. Alfalfa, it's usually grown as a 5-year crop, 5 years, and then taken out. But there are some alfalfa cultivars that don't survive the winter, but they produce and fix a lot of nitrogen in that first year. And then they die off, which means you don't have to kill it. And killing alfalfa is expensive to get the small grains back in too. So that's actually a 6-year study. Next year will be the final year of that study. And so I'll be writing that up the year after that. So I can't retire until I get done with that. We're also doing, along with Jared Spackman over there in Aberdeen, a lot of this work is with our new barley specialist over there. He's brand new and really great to work with. We're doing small liming studies in small grains, tillage interactions with small grains, and then also one thing that we're doing multi-county is moisture conservation in small grains for dry farmers. What types of rotations, especially since a lot of people are trying to grow cover crops in the fall. We're worried that might take up a lot of the moisture that we're trying to conserve for the next spring. The other one in horticulture is bud placement for apple grafting. I'm writing that up right now. I did a couple of years of grafting to see if you grafted on the node or the inner node, which was best. It doesn't matter. But that's good to know, right? Research, when you find out it doesn't matter, that's good to know too. And then also we're doing a lot of insect pest monitoring for the pest network that goes out there and it's emailed to a lot of people. The one that I'm mostly involved in is the codling moth, and we have our master gardeners that put the moth traps up in all of their apple orchards and stuff, but they're also aphids and thrips monitoring also. Some of the bigger programs, we got our regional master gardener program. It's now online, which is great because people have been taking it from all of our outlying little cities like Robin and Lava, because we couldn't give those. They used to be in person, people would have to come, but now it's all online. and it's for everybody in Idaho. And Ron Patterson and I are the ones that are leading that one up. We've got our Master Gardener Symposium every year that is done in Rexburg. And then I also help out and manage the Spanish sessions at Potato School. And I'm also highly involved with our cereal school, forage school, and beef school. Our cereal school used to be, it's the opposite. Master Gardener went more and more regional. The cereal school, we used to have one in every county. But now we're having a fairly large cereal school, and we do that at Fort Hall at the convention center. And last year we had 3 times as many come to our county for that school. And it was really great. It was we made it more like the potato school. So it's one school, everybody from southern Idaho comes. Works well, saves a lot of money. Our specialists don't have to drive, stay in hotels and things like that. I also have been working for the past 10 years and headed up and started the Idaho Outlook conferences. This year, I'll be doing the Hay Outlook portion of it, and we do that right before the first of the year, which is unfortunate because all the great data that helps us do the economic forecasting comes out in January. But, we want to get ahead of the ball because we spend a lot of time looking at try to gather up data from all the different sectors so that we can give everybody an economic outlook. And it's a different group than what we usually work with. We're usually working with farmers and ranchers, right? We're working really tight with the ag lenders, and I think it helps them a lot, kind of figuring out for the next year. Do a lot of work with farm economics, and especially with succession planning. And then also we have certain other little things like beekeeper days that go on throughout the year at different times and stuff. But and then besides that, just regular phone calls and stuff that come in every day on, is this a bed bug? Is that, what type of spider is this? How do I get rid of the gophers? So really, I'm 90% gopher education.
It's a full-time job.
It is a full-time job.
Around here, gophers are a full-time job.
All over my place.
Yeah.
Well, we just wanted to reintroduce ourselves and introduce everybody that's new also. And if you guys have any questions or directions you want to see us pursue, Extension works with the county and for the community, and so we want to make sure we're doing the best we can for everyone. So
Do you have any financial literacy courses for the kids?
we do. Yep. Yeah, we have a lot of finance. That's something that we have in the past taught in schools, and so hopefully with our new crew, we can do that again. Yeah.
We also teach a 6-week course, financial literacy for the farmers, specifically to teach them record keeping.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
That's important for those
Yeah.
guys. Okay, that's my only question.
Thank
So
you.
is the schools the main medium that you use to promote to the youth?
Yeah, so a lot of so we reach out to the schools in Pocatello and the Marsh Valley School District, and we're in school teaching. We also do after-school programs, which unfortunately we don't have the 21st Century Grant with the Pocatello School District right now, so we're trying to figure out a different way of working with the youth through that and maybe doing something different. But then we do summer programs. We have our overnight camp in Alpine, and that actually reaches, most of the youth that attend that are non-4-H members, so we reach the community members through that. And then a lot of our day camps through the summer and spring break, and we'll also have some fall day camps as well. So that's our outreach into the community.
And I'll do like nutrition classes in school, like during school time, coordinating with teachers, but it's without the after-school program. We're finding new
Yeah.
avenues.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to think, I think it was 5th grade when I got exposed to 4-H.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
And I remember that then, we were coloring.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We were coloring the clover leaves or whatever, and I assume that, so that's still the first focus you probably have is in the schools.
Yeah, in the schools and then our community clubs
Okay.
too. Yep.
oh, I think we're also going to do a weekly or monthly article in a journal too.
Yeah.
Each one of us will take a turn to
Yeah.
kind of give people a heads up on our programming and other different things.
Yeah, there'll be a nutrition column and an extension column.
I used to do a bug of the week, and it worked out really, really well. Yeah, it was really fun.
So you're doing your own weekly reader?
Yeah.
I mean, all of us remember the weekly readers that come in school, but it seemed like that's where the 4-H was.
Yeah.
There was information brought in all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate you guys' support too. We feel it
Yeah.
and know that without you guys' support, we would really be, in kind of a fix, especially me, because I'm in between 2 counties, and that's hard to juggle sometimes. And I do feel support from both sides, both counties, making it work.
Good.
Tell everybody you know.
Yeah, well, that's our first article in the journal.
We could use some positive ones.
Right.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank
all
you
your
for
hard
your
work
time.
and keep up the good work. Matt, you're here.
Oh, good.
So Matt Olson, Bannock County Juvenile Justice. I'm here today to request an amendment on an agreement Bannock County had with University of Cincinnati Research Institute. They provided a training for our staff called EPICS, which stands for Effective Practices in Community Supervision. That included a 3-day on-site training, and then there was ongoing coaching, and there's 5 total coaching visits that we have where staff submit audios of work they're doing with clients and then get feedback. We've completed 4 of those, but this contract was set to end September 30th. We'll have a 5th that will go into October, so we're requesting an extension on that agreement to December 31st, 2025, so that we can complete the coaching sessions.
Okay, any questions on that?
Don't really. So you're just looking for the authorization to sign the amendment.
Correct.
Okay. I'll go ahead and make that motion that we authorize the Bannock County to sign the amendment to that original agreement with Cincinnati Research Institute, University of Research, Cincinnati.
Okay. Any further discussion?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Clerk Dixon.
All right. I'm going to give just a little bit of a brief history in case people missed our first meeting where we talked about this, so they don't have to go back. So in 2019, Bannock County donated the building that the old Aid for Friends used. That was a Bannock County property. We deeded that property to Idaho Housing and Finance, and that was our donation that then would help the loan go through for the new Aid for Friends. So when we did that, inadvertently, there was a second legal description that was attached to that first legal description. So we gave 2 properties to Idaho Housing and Finance instead of just 1. And that was brought to our attention by Idaho Housing and Finance in August of this year. So they did not want the property. We talked about it in commission meeting and wanted the property back, of course, so that it could be used for its current purpose with Family Services Alliance. I worked with Jonathan Radford, and we got a quick claim done, and it has been signed by Idaho Housing, and it is recorded. So we are the official owners of the property again, which makes everyone happy. The last portion of this deal is Idaho Housing and Finance did pay the taxes when they got a late notice in August, and that's how this all came to be. So we need to refund them for their taxes for a property that they shouldn't have ever had to pay for. With all of the fees, interest, and charges that they had, the check will need to be for $2,611.76. I've talked with Christy about it and have a couple ideas of funding for that, and so we just need to have that approved at this point. But everything else is done other than issuing that check back.
So talking about the taxes, all the other taxing districts should have been included in getting money for that, or they haven't yet?
No, they paid the taxes, so all the districts were paid in full.
So do we get money back from all the districts?
No, because the property shouldn't have been changed over, so it's not like it's just we're reimbursing them from a cost they should not have incurred. Because the error was our fault.
Yeah.
That second property should not have been deeded to them.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to make them whole.
My question is, how come this is the only tax notice they've got since it's been a couple of years?
So, yeah, I don't know where, I have the tax notices that I got from our treasurer. I don't know why it didn't go through, but the first tax bill was in 2023, and then the late notice is what they got for 2024. They paid, and then the late notice came in August of this year. And I don't know why those first didn't go through, why it took so long. I have no idea. They don't really know why either. But these tax bills are the only 2 that Idaho Housing ever received, and this is the only years that they paid.
So where are we getting this money from?
We'll have to pay that accounting operations. And if I can get those and have the commission sign those, we can get that payment processed this fiscal year.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll need to sign the invoice.
Okay.
Assuming you are good with paying it out of accounting operations.
Commissioner?
Not good. I want somebody else to pay for it.
I guess my question is more, so I assume Idaho Housing and Finance was paying the property taxes on this property for 3 years.
They only got the bill for the 2 years.
So is this refund only for this year? And not for
no,
previous years?
It's for 23 and 24, which are the only years that they got the tax bill.
So was they just assuming that was part of the
They
other
had no idea
property?
that they owned it.
So they were just paying it.
They
We
had-
need a few more people like that to just pay.
Yeah. They had no idea that they owned that property inadvertently
And so
until they got the late notice in August of 25.
I guess my issue is, there's some burden on them that they didn't discover this issue.
How would they know?
Good question, but if you got a tax notice, wouldn't you be asking why you would be paying taxes on a particular property?
Sure.
I mean, that's my only issue with that, is there's a certain amount of burden on them that they should have discovered why they were,
I don't know how they would do that.
good question, so.
Because anyone, unless you go and check, it's just like the quit claim that they gave back to us. Unless I told you here today that they had quit claimed it back to you, how would you know?
Well, if so
You
they were
wouldn't know.
paying something they weren't getting notice on?
They had no notice until that 2023.
But they paid it.
But at that point, they also owned the other property, and they may
Right.
have been confused of
So they were paying it probably in conjunction with the other property.
thinking that it was the other property.
And they're not excluded from
Because they're in
property
Boise,
taxes.
they're not here.
Right, but they're not excluded from property taxes, but they're, so, I don't know. I just find it interesting that some of the burden is really on them as much as it is us, but we'll never win that argument, but I mean,
I'll just say that I'll make a motion that we pay it before I get myself into trouble by
Okay.
saying more things.
I was just asking, I wasn't making any assertions, but I just, somewhere in the process, we didn't open up a box and
There's
look
some nonprofits that got
inside the discovery, whether it's on
benefit out
their
of all
side
this.
or, probably more their
Take
side.
money from them.
How would you know?
I don't know. But we did send them a notice, didn't we?
Not until
Doesn't sound like
23.
So how would they pay it? How would they know they?
How would they know?
Oh. But yet we're refunding that, so did they pay it?
They did pay it. They paid $2,611.76.
So I guess why would I pay a bill that I don't know what it's for?
Well, I think in the late notice, it talks about that the county can take your property if you don't.
Yeah, at that point, but again, their accounting system, why would you pay a bill that you wasn't sure that you even owed it?
Yeah.
Well, that's part of your research into nonprofits this next year.
Yeah, I just sit here and look at that, and what else are we not gonna be discovering out there that, after the fact, then we bear 100% of the cost, not the other taxing districts that got a portion of this, so, but we bear it all, so I guess, with that, I'll be with Ernie and
Okay,
leave that alone.
okay, we have a motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 You want to sign,
Adam,
this
come on up.
is the final invoice with the late, this is everything they paid. If you sign that, then we'll use that for the
And I'll
invoice.
put it and give it to Davenport, so she knows what we did.
Good morning, Adam McKinney, Chief Technical Officer, not looking for any rebates. Actually, today I brought a first draft of the county artificial intelligence policy. I told you guys I wanted to have that in place before the end of the year. Developed this policy based on the state of Washington's policy, the county of Sonoma, California's policy, and the NACO AI primer that had gone around from the IAC conference a little while ago. I feel it's a little heavy-handed, but I think we should start out heavy-handed on this. I think we should not be allowing AI willy-nilly. I think it needs to be one of these things that we try to corral as well as we can. That said, it's getting harder and harder to corral it. We've now started realizing that we have people, we just turned on the new Sentinel-1 antivirus, and one of the things it's starting to find in the system is that there are AI bots that are being downloaded. We had found one yesterday on a prosecutor's laptop called Just Ask Jackie. It's a Trojan horse. It's designed to be set up as a question and answer bot. It installs on the machine and then it expedites malicious code at random times. So our new Sentinel-1 found that yesterday. So I think that's one of these reasons why we need this policy in place. The policy basically allows use of AI in the browser. No, we're not pointing any fingers. This is,
Well, we're gonna point some fingers just for.
oh, you guys can, go ahead.
Don't worry, I'll be dealing with that.
Well, it's one of these things like, I don't think people know that stuff can be malicious, right? So we needed a policy, we need to get it in front of the employees and say, if you're utilizing this stuff, you need to utilize the ones that we vetted that are somewhat secure. And we really like the idea of using them in the browser. Can't really stop that other than we could put web controls in and block them. But the flip side to that is we don't want them installed on the computers without us knowing that they're going to be installed on the computers. We just have to do that. Luckily, our Sentinel-1 watchtower caught it, stopped it, we're good. We just wanted to bring this. I think it makes it a little more of a conversation, timely conversation.
But that was the attorney that left his office, so it's all good.
Well,
Pick up for you.
in the history of attorneys and
That was a different.
different department, I know.
Too soon, too soon.
Similar, yes. But
I know what he's talking about, and that was a mess.
in any case, this policy was vetted by legal. Legal did ask that we add in one additional thing in here. That was to make sure that anything that we have a trademark or copyright on that is generated by AI is not generated by AI and left. It has to be proofed. Honestly, the whole policy says that. It's anything you generate with AI for the county or on the behalf of the county has to have eyes on it before it's utilized. But they wanted a specific language in there about trademark, primarily like our seals and things. So if we put things out there that are AI generated with our seals, they have to have approval by a real human person. So I'm happy to answer any questions about it if you've got some.
So what does Jackie think of this?
We didn't ask her because I don't want any malicious software on my.
So is this kind of like, everybody had to develop a social media policy?
Very similar, and we are actually,
It's coming along.
Yes.
There's new avenues of people that are on the computer. I assume that's what we're trying to do here.
that's exactly what we're trying to do. We'll be probably one of the first counties that I know of that will have an AI policy. I've spoke a lot with Ada County as a compatriot, and their legal department, they haven't solidified a policy yet. They've only begun to start writing it. We are at the cusp of this. I mean, there's no chance that AI does not end up in almost everything. I mean, Microsoft has now forced it into the Windows updates that we're doing. They've forced it into the browser updates. Google's put it into their browser. It's now in Facebook. It's in Twitter. They're adding it to everything. And what we did was we kind of started with the County of Sonoma's. The piece in the policy of the permitted versus prohibited is that came from the County of Sonoma's policy. We looked at studies that vetted the left or right-wing bias of these things. And we chose the ones that are the least biased. For example, the SageMaker AI is very left-wing biased. The Grok AI, XAI is very right-wing biased. Oracle AI, right-wing biased. Salesforce is very sales-oriented. We didn't want things that are going to put up ads on people's computers. Meta AI at the moment, that one is right-wing leaning. H2O AI is very left-wing. So we tried to leave the ones that are pretty smack in the middle. And if you look, you'll notice they're really the list of Google, Microsoft, Apple, Wolfram Alpha, LexisNexis. That's one that the attorneys use pretty regularly. We did leave in there Read AI. That's the first one you're seeing widespread use of. That's one you bring to a meeting and it summarizes the meeting agenda for you or makes minutes for you. Adobe AI, that was one that was asked specifically by our PIO to include because she uses it to generate imagery. And the last one, I'm a little leery on, it's Motorola Assist AI. That's brand new, and they're going to put that into Flex as of the 2025 update. And the design for Vicky Assist AI is to help police officers make decisions on whether or not things should be a ticketable offense or whether or not more action should be taken in a situation. And that starts, to me, to say, whoa, this is wild stuff. So we have to have some kind of policy because if we don't have any policy, people are going to use whatever they can put their hands on. It's kind of how I feel. So,
Well, I appreciate the work that you've done on this and vetting them out and all that in the last few months. I think it's great. And as I read through it, I felt like it was a little bit heavy-handed, but I think it's probably the right place to start.
And we can always dial it back, right? We
Correct.
can always add additionals, and I think we could move from one side to the other on the prohibited as they evolve, because these things learn.
Yeah, so I think this is a great place to start.
I do too.
Yeah, I could just see RoboCop taking over.
Yeah, it's wild.
I mean, we've seen those scenarios in fantasy, but I agree. I think I'd be like the substitute teacher that draws a hard line first and then backs off. as
Yeah,
needed. So
that's the biggest thing, is that I want to make sure that the county's assets and intellectual property are not utilized by AI without us realizing it. And if people are dumping huge amounts of our content out into AI, we need a path to be able to mitigate and resolve that.
So have you got staff to implement and enforce this?
Yeah, I think for the most part, there's not a whole lot we need to do other than to continue watching it on the web filter, the SOFA, or the AI Sentinel-1 system. We can see, we've already run some reports. The use of AI, interestingly enough, when we did a department, we talked about this maybe 6 months ago. We put out a departmental survey and asked people who would use it. We had a few departments come back and say, yeah, we're interested. And when we offered well, would you like to trial this or trial it, nobody really took us up on it. But what we're finding based on web logs, Sophos logs, or Sentinel-1 logs, is that people are using it in the browser. People are asking it things like, can you check my grammar on this? Can you give me some suggestions on letter writing? Things like that. And I think that's a pretty good use of it. Also, there's a brainstorming, right? You have an idea of, well, I want to accomplish this. Give me some ideas, some ways I might get there. I think that's legitimate good usage of AI. The ones that scare me, though, are the idea that we could drop hundreds and thousands of documents out into AI and not have a way for us to vet that those documents are never modified or changed. And I know this is a kind of an irrational fear. I explained it to Commissioner Huff. The idea that whatever we generate from AI is obviously going to be changed based on what we fed it. But I would love the ability to say, these documents that maybe have gone into AI never changed. The permissive AI built these other documents based on this, but we need a way to vet that. And so far, that's not possible in AI. I asked that we had a meeting with somebody who runs a company that runs local government-based AI. They will actually build you a sandboxed AI that nobody else can use but your employees. And when I asked that to them, how would I audit this in 2 or 3 years to show that the data we put in there has never changed? They went, no one's ever asked that question before. And so they went back to their security people and they said, well, we have some ideas, but that's not built into what we do. And my concern there is, if you can't say the information you're pulling from is static, how can you trust the products that are generated from? So,
And in my conversation with that, I'm like, I don't think it's an irrational fear. I think it's a very realistic one where you can't time and date stamp it and say, this is this. Then, so again, that's why I agree with, let's be a little bit more restrictive to start until we learn some things, and then we can adjust as well.
yeah, we can always adjust it down.
To me, this is spell check on steroids.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because we've been using this kind of
Absolutely.
technology for years to spell check or make the recommendations. So, I mean, I don't think we have to, it's coming, it's only going to get better the more, but I do agree we got to have a policy in place. With that, I'll go ahead and make the recommendation that we go ahead and push forward with this and adopt this policy.
Is it in a state that you're ready for us?
I believe it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe it is, and it's been vetted by legal. They ran through it, and we implemented the couple changes that they wanted for the, again, trademark, intellectual property.
Before or after?
Oh, that was before. I don't believe they ran it through any AI, but.
No, we talked to Just Ask Jackie.
Cool, and she was good with it. She was like, just ask Jackie, full unmitigated.
So, Adam, can I ask, so right now we have the social media policy and the personnel policy. Do you envision this also joining to that?
This should go in the personnel policy next, between the social media policy and the IT policy.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
Because it does have some teeth for misuse.
Yep.
So it does-
Okay.
doesn't need to be in there.
And we can, that's the nice thing is we have the ability to track usage of it. We're seeing people using it. But again, right now, they're not using it for much. They're using it for grammar, thoughts. That's the other thing. You say spell check. It's now become a thought check. Like, hey, I like this idea. Kick me back some feedback on it. And we're seeing that kind of usage. I think that's healthy usage for it because it's just another way for people to research. The one I don't like is dump every document we have in there and we don't have originals and generate me, quick claim deeds that look legit and then people are in here with one and it's got everybody's signatures on it and that's the kind of stuff I want to avoid. And if we catch that, we need to have some recourse for that.
So how are you putting this out?
That I think we'd need to work with HR. to do.
Yeah, and I think you and I chatted about it. You said maybe you could send it out initially. We are working on a personnel policy update like we talked about last week, so we can definitely include it in that one, which will get signatures on from everybody. But if he wants to
I'd like to
release it
send it
now
out.
initially.
Yeah, I could send it out. I also think that
If
it
we're gonna
might,
approve it today, let's send it out this week so that it's out there.
yeah, and I think it might be a wise idea to just come to the next department heads meeting or the next elected officials meeting and run it down with them so they can also relay it to their staff and say, hey, we know what this is. It's not blindsiding anybody.
Yeah. Okay. We have a motion on the floor. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay. All right, I have one more on here. It's not in the packet. Because of the NDA, we left out the sales contract, but it is the sales contract for the Kinport Tower. I believe funds have been identified to use from fiscal '25 for that, and I am asking for approval to purchase that from Day Wireless.
Okay. We've talked about this several times. Is there any further discussion on this while we're here? Nope. Okay. Then I would move to go ahead and approve the purchase of the Kinport Tower. Is there any further discussion?
Nope.
So, again, for definition, what do we actually, we're not purchasing the mountain?
Not the land. We're
just
buying the
purchasing-
building and the antenna.
Okay, I just think that
Yes.
needs to be included in that, not just tower.
I believe it is. It's itemized in the
But-
sales
but in the
contract.
motion.
Yes. Oh, yeah,
That
absolutely.
we
Yep.
need- that is for the
The
building?
the base, the tower, and I think that's pretty much, and the generator shed that's up there and the fence that's around it.
Okay, I'd just like to see that included in that motion.
I will accept that friendly amendment. Nancy, you got all that? You're good? Okay. Is there any further discussion on that? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay.
Outstanding. Thank you, gentlemen.
If we write a check on this sales agreement for the total amount, can we just write a check to the title company for that total amount and then be done? There's earnest money, but if we just write a check in full amount, we should be fine, right?
Yep.
Do we have an estimated closing date?
Well, for this type of a deal, well, we'll chat about it, but I think that we could do it today, tomorrow. Like, I think we can get it done.
Trying to do it in this year.
Yeah, so we can
Yes.
get it done.
So I'll use this sales agreement. If
Yes.
Christie sends me a copy of it, I can use that sales agreement to write the check, and we'll have the check done on Thursday.
I think.
But we
I
can
think I
put,
got all
but we can put
signatures.
today's date on the, you just won't cut, but can we put today's date on that check?
All of the checks that we're cutting for Thursday will be dated September 30th.
Okay,
That's why I was pushing for cutoff deadlines so that we weren't crossing over too much.
okay,
Okay.
works.
Commissioner Bullock, you're up now.
Oh, in a week or so, I'm headed to Boise to a conference, since I will probably be not taking a company car, and I would just request that the mileage be, according to how we have been doing it, that request the one-way mileage to Boise for that trip.
Any discussion on that?
No, no problem.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Agenda.
Sometimes I wish all they had uniform places for signatures. You don't have
Good
to-
morning, Commissioner Shanda Crystal, Chief Procurement Officer. I have 2 items before the board today. The first one is regarding a discussion of a protest received for the landfill construction entrance invitation to bid. I want to start out with just the initial contact that we had with the company RS Jobber. They called on Monday, September the 22nd, requesting a meeting with Commissioner Huff. A meeting was then arranged for later that morning at 11 a.m. When Florencio and Rich arrived, Commissioner Huff was wrapped up in a previous meeting and unable to discuss with them, and so it was asked if Commissioner Moser could meet with RS Jobber. As Commissioner Moser met with RS Jobber, he invited me to join the conversation, and then I requested Florencio submit their concerns in writing and stated I would review our protest procedures. But as best practice, we did pause all procurement activities in regards to this project once I had that conversation with Mr. Moser and RS Jobber. So as we paused the procurement process, I was then to review our protest procedures. So the first, it kind of goes in order. We start with the solicitation itself. And upon review of the solicitation, I found no protest procedures listed in that solicitation. So the next piece is then we fall back to Bannock County policy. As I reviewed Bannock County policy, we have protest procedures, but they are regarding instances where award is made to other than a low bidder, and that doesn't apply in this case. So then we go to code and see what Idaho code has to say on this. So as we reviewed Idaho code with legal, we found that the code does not address the ability to protest being removed from evaluation. With no process listed in the bid, with no process procedures listed in the bid or in Bannock County policy or in Idaho code for this instance, it is left to the commissioners first to decide whether or not you're going to allow or deny a company to protest. After discussions with legal counsel, it is my recommendation to deny RS Jobber's protests in regards to being eliminated from evaluation in regards to the landfill construction entrance projects.
Okay. Discussion?
Well, we've had this discussion, and I did meet with Jobbers, and we looked at the processes and stuff, just as Shanda just stated. But it comes down to, originally when we talked about these things, we talked to legal counsel, and legal counsel's given us advice again. So I would be under the assumption that we go ahead and deny the protest per legal counsel's guidance.
Okay, Commissioner?
Concur.
Okay, and legal, since you're here, any thoughts or further comments?
Nothing further. I think everything that you guys have discussed previously, and even communication from my office has been sufficient.
Okay. Okay, so we have a motion on the table to not accept the appeal. Any further discussion?
Appeal or protest?
Or protest, excuse me, thank you. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
The second item I have before the board is in regards to the landfill construction entrance invitation to bid and how to move forward with that project. If you'll review, the 4 bids that are remaining are all over our approved budget. So the Idaho code that governs this particular project is section 67-2805. And that section does allow, sorry, let me get there. It does allow, in its discretion, the governing board may reject all bids presented and rebid, or the governing board may, after finding it to be the fact, pass a resolution declaring that the project sought to be accomplished by the expenditures can be performed more economically by purchasing goods and services on the open market. Given the fact that the rest of the bids are all over the budget that we have approved for next year, and that we have seen evidence of this project being able to be accomplished within that budget, I would recommend that the board move to reject all bids presented and to make a resolution declaring that this project can be sought more economically on the open market.
Why does it have to be a resolution?
It's in code.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's
Not sorry, but it does say to pass a resolution.
Okay. And then what does that do to the time frame for the project? We have to start the bidding process all over, or what does that do?
So it's going to delay the project a little bit. But what it does is it completes the bidding process that we have now. We're going to reject everything. And what this states is that we do have evidence that we can do this project for the approved budget of $3.5 million. So that being said, we start going out to request quotes from companies that have expressed interest in the project is where I would start. I would start with anybody that attended the pre-bid meeting, all these companies that have submitted bids here today, anybody else that our engineer or our department head would recommend that we look after. We are free to reach out to anybody, but we would request quotes on the exact same project. That is pivotal to this piece, is that we're saying we can do this scope of work for the budget that we have approved, and we would go back out to those companies and say, right, that all bids received came in over budget. We're asking that you find economical ways. We are not asking for subpar materials. All these quotes will be vetted out through our engineer upon being received, but we are asking them to find ways to do the project that aligns with our budget. And this does give companies opportunities to be able to review what their subs have turned in, review places that they might be able to internally save money for the county and be able to resubmit those bids, or if the project no longer fits in their time frame, because we were hoping to have already started this project, but if the project no longer fits in their time frame or the amount of funds that they were hoping to make on this project, they're not required to submit anything to us. But this does open us up that we can go to all companies that have had interest in this project, asking them to start a discussion that's closer to our budget.
So what would you say would be an estimated time for reopening the bid or starting the bid process again so that we can move forward?
Okay, so we don't reopen the bid.
Or not reopen the bid, but start a new bid.
Yep, start the new process. I would like to consult with the engineer just to make sure that I'm in the right time frame, but where the scope of work doesn't change at all, they are going to contact right subs, have internal discussions. I'm thinking a week, maybe two. We would have to specify that deadline, right, that all of those quotes are due back to me by a certain date, right, and then they would be reviewed by our engineer to make sure that we aren't cutting unsafe, unrecommendable corners, right, and then those would be brought back before the board for review and discussion and potential to move forward with the project.
Okay, good. Any other questions?
No.
With that, I think by doing it this way, it will validate our estimated budget amount. Those that can't make it, they probably won't rebid. Those that think they can, they will. So I think by going this process, I think it will validate that our estimates, the scope of work that we're looking at, I really think this is the positive way to move forward. So with that, I'll go ahead and make the recommendation that we restart the bidding process by rejecting all of the others and put it back into the system to possibly, so I guess we're going to have that in a form of a resolution.
Correct, right? I'll work with
And
Nancy
so
to get that created and back.
that we will, with ending this, rejecting all of these bids, we will start a new process to rebid it.
Right.
However, you want to say that, Nancy? So
I'll fix it.
I figured you'd fix it.
For Idaho Code.
There's probably an AI out there somewhere.
Maybe we can borrow Lucy.
Ask Jackie. Ask Jackie.
Ask Jackie, you know, so.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Is there any further discussion?
No.
Okay, hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm going to make one slight adjustment to the agenda. We'll do the resolutions and ordinances. We have resolution 2025-65, which is for disposal of surplus assets. Any discussion on that?
No.
Okay, I would move that we approve that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then with that, we have the signature only, which is a subscriber agreement with TransUnion, some titles for vehicles, an MOU between Minidoka County and the Juvenile Detention Center. And then we also have the consent agenda. Is there any questions or comments or concerns about any of those items?
No.
Hearing none, I would move that we
Just one addition in the consent agenda, we have a request for mileage reimbursement D6 actually drove up to.
So what,
She is requesting the full amount. We would say no, she gets half amount, in my opinion.
yeah, so what happened with that is there was a training that she wanted to go to, didn't think that she was going to be able to make it because of schedule, and late in the evening, the night before the training, her schedule opened up the next day, as it does sometimes, and they didn't have either of the cars available that they are assigned that day, so she took her own vehicle. There wasn't really an opportunity for her to get a vehicle out of the motor pool. We've talked with her about that. She knows that she does have access to the motor pool when her plan and time allows for her to get one, and she's aware of that, and so, yeah, she requested that mileage.
And on that mileage request, I probably need that back because I need to adjust it for one way. It's set. Thank you. I just didn't want it to get processed too much.
Okay. All right, so with that, we have a motion on the table. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and with that, we have an executive session. Our chief prosecutor has asked for that.
I'll make the motion, we go into executive session under Idaho Code, section 74-206, 1A and B.